Hello, today we're going to give you a quick tour of Old Town Hall, let you see what it looks like now and what we are hoping to have when the renovation of Old Town Hall is complete. As you probably know, this was the center of town government until the 1980s. It housed the school, the library, public works, police, as well as all the administrative functions. Along the line, many of them went off into separate buildings, and the last occupants moved over to the new town hall in the early 1980s. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up through the building to show you what we have planned. Okay. All right, as we go down the driveway, we pass a flower bed which the garden club has tried to maintain. It's been very difficult because they've had no water to keep the flowers going, but they've done a nice job in trying to add to some spirit of the way that the building looked in a number of years ago. All right, as we go down the driveway, you can see the lower floors of the building here. The nice brick foundation. There's been a number of changes done to the building over the years, and in the late 1890s the jail was put in the lower floor. As you can see in the corner, they had to move a window because the jail cell is in the immediate corner. They took the precaution of moving the lintel over across the top of the window, but they didn't bother to move the sill. So that's another one of the little idiosyncrasies of this building. But we now plan to use where that cell is to bring all our utilities into the building, the electricity, the cable and telephone service, and one of the cells will remain intact, but the other one will be a utility room. Now we're going to go around to see where we're planning to add an addition to deal with the handicapped access. This is currently a problem which the building does not satisfy, and we have to address that problem. Now, over in the rear of the building, we currently have a little cinder block utility building, and that houses the boiler, and the boiler will be removed, and that little cinder block building. The new addition that we propose will come out into this paved area and include an area back here, and going up the first, second, and the third floors. It will not go up to the attic of this building. And the purpose of that is to provide an elevator with the handicapped access, handicapped restrooms in the back of the building, and a new mechanical room in the bottom, which will provide for the air conditioning, heating, and ventilation for the entire building. There also will be a stairway for secondary egress out of the entire building in this addition. So that will make this totally up to date with the current building codes, as well as address the Handicapped Access American with Disabilities Act. So now we're going to go inside and we can have a look at all of the changes that we propose for the inside of the building. Now we've just come in the back door on the lowest level of the town hall, and we're going to take a walk around this floor, and the first room we're going to be in is one that a few old timers may recognize as the old Public Works office. The partitions have been added over the years, and our intent is to remove the modern partitions, such as this one, that will make one large, lighter work area down here for whoever the new tenants will be. We do want to retain This is the original wainscoting around, and it is still on much of the building, but we want to retain the old wainscoting and the old cast iron ventilation fixtures. This one has come out. This is the chimney that is still active and will continue to be active. There is a matching chimney on the other side of the building, which is a dummy, but which will be used for ductwork to run utilities through the building. There's a lot of work to be done. The piping has to be, this piping will be removed and modern utilities will be installed. But this will provide a large workspace on the lowest level for the new tenants. Moving into the second room, which had been the tax collector's office. With the removal of the modern partition, this office and the old DPW office will now be one large space, and with the windows along the north side will provide a much lighter and airier workspace than existed previously. And again, these fixtures hanging off the ceiling will be removed and more attractive workspace will be provided. We move on into the front of the building. There's a stairwell. It's a very narrow, steep, dark stairwell that was added when the building was converted, probably in the late 1890s. This is going to be removed, and that will allow us to use the space opened up for modern handicapped restrooms and a utility closet on this floor, and will provide more usable space on the upper floor when the stairwell is gone. We have the new modern stairs that will be in the addition, so this is not required. We also have a doorway which goes out to a courtyard on the north side of the building. This used to be a doorway that led to the town vault. The vault was removed, and this now allows access out into a courtyard where people could sit to have lunch, that sort of thing. Now we're going to go around to the area where the jail cells are. The jail cells were in the southwest corner of the building next to the driveway. There are 2 cells. The bars were removed, but we do anticipate being able to get the bars back in at least one of the cells, and the other one will be used for the utilities coming into the building from the street. It's a cluttered storage area now, but we anticipate making it into a rather interesting and attractive, nostalgic corner of the building. Again, other partitions are going to come down, and this will provide a large workspace on the west end, the front end of the building. And finally, a third work area in the lowest floor is where I am now, and this will be basically renovated with the wainscoting being replaced that had been taken off on the outer walls. And the original town vault, which was included in the building when it was first constructed, will be left here, and so the people using this space will have access to an old vault. One of the things we don't know is if anybody has the combination, but we're sure we can work that out. Now we're going to go up to the second floor, the middle floor, and have a tour there. All right, now the stairs will be removed and will provide a workspace at the top here. Originally, when this building was constructed, this corner of the first floor was the police chief's office. There's a door that leads out to the south road, and this can be open, but our intent is to blank this door off, and this will provide a nice workspace for whatever tenant the town decides to move in. Now I'm going to move back through the building to get to the area which was the finance department. Again, we have modern partitions that are going to be removed and will open up a very attractive and light area that is potentially going to be used for a display area, or it could be used for offices. The tin ceiling in this area is still intact. There have been pieces removed in order to look at the structure of the building, which was necessary when the structural analysis was being done. But the tin ceiling will be retained, which dates back to the at least to the 1890s. The next space we're going to go into is the rear of the building, and again, modern partitions will be removed, and this then will provide a large open space. The modern partitions here and there will be removed, and so the entire width of the rear of the building is going to be one very airy, well-lit workspace. And the electric lights overhead, all the other things, the ductwork overhead will be removed, and the tin ceiling will be reinstalled. In the process of taking down some sections to look at the structure, we discovered that the original ceiling, when this was a school and then a library, is actually a stenciled pattern on horsehair plaster, which is difficult to see, but the plaster over years had cracked and had undoubtedly led to them making the decision to install the tin ceiling, and we intend to retain the tin ceiling. Part of this will have to be removed in order to put structural support members across the ceiling here in order to provide the adequate load-bearing capacity on the top floor in order to meet the current building codes. But after those structural members are put in and the utilities are put in, then the tin ceiling will be replaced. This just gives you a feel. This is one of the partitions that will come down. This is another modern partition that will come down. So we will really have a beautiful wide open space in the rear of the building here. Now going forward in the building from here, we come to original walls and load-bearing walls that will be retained. So from here forward, we will have a series of smaller offices or working spaces along the south or the driveway side of the building. These, you can tell, the oldest building, portions of the building on the original woodwork by the crowns, caps over the doors and the windows. In the modern additions, they didn't bother with any of the amenities like that. But this provides a nice large area for workspace. And coming forward into the front of the hall, there are some changes being made that will make this also a lighter area. The partition on the front corner of the building originally was a ladies' room, and I shouldn't say originally. Most recently, earlier than that, this had been the box office for people when they came in to go see the movies upstairs, which was the source of entertainment back during a period of time, and may have had other uses before that. But this area is going to be opened up, and so the entrance to the main building and this area will all be one open area, be coat racks, potentially have exhibits in this area. And from here we will reuse the existing hardware that's removed and woodwork and put in a partition here. So then the workspace on the middle floor will be isolated from the main entrance to go up to the meeting hall on the top floor. Again, we have a side door coming into the building from the outside, which is accessible, but we will be blanking that off. And only the the main center double doors will be kept active. And you can have a look at the South Road from the central entrance here that opens out onto the common. Now we're going to go up the stairway. It's a elliptical stairway and makes sort of a grand entrance to the building. The stairs are slightly short of building code on the inside. The stair treads aren't quite large enough, but in historic buildings, the state will waive that sort of requirement, but otherwise the stairs make just a beautiful approach to the top floor meeting hall. This meeting hall was used for town meeting, the Grange meetings, movies in the old days, other meetings. The small platform makes it ideal for small groups to perform in modern day, but we obviously do not have the capability of putting on a grand stage production on the top floor. This hall can safely accommodate 150 to 200 people and has again been used since the building was erected in 1856 for town meetings until the town meetings outgrew it and moved over to the high school auditorium, and provides a real opportunity to have new, smaller public meetings, as well as having private functions such as wedding receptions or other special events, corporate gatherings in this floor. The corner room on the front south corner of the building was years ago a kitchen for the events that were held in this hall. More recently, it was a town administrator's office when the building was still active for town government. It is going to be converted back to a kitchen. In this case, it'll just be a catering kitchen in order to have caterers bring food in, have it heated and prepared and put on the out for functions. The other corner office, which had most recently been used for the health director's office when town offices were still here, will be used for storage of chairs, tables, coat racks, and make the top floor functional. Going out of the building on the back end, there had been a fire escape right next to the platform that led to the ground. Now that fire escape has been removed, it no longer met building code, and the new addition going out will then allow that door to open into where the elevators, handicap restroom, and stairwell will be located, and will provide a much more functional use for this floor. For some of you who have been around a while, you may recognize a pattern over the platform stage where the clock was located. Now the clock has been relocated to the selectmen's chambers in the new town hall, and the eagle, the old hand pumper, which is over in the multi-purpose room in town hall, formerly sat on the platform when the floor was still being used for town offices. So now you've had a quick tour of the building to see what it looks like now, the condition, and what we would like to see done with it in order to return it to really public use, active use. And once we do that and return it to use, it really will help revitalize this area of the town. We have, up to now, had some work done with matching funds from the Mass Historical Commission. Now, with the Community Preservation Act, which involves reimbursement by the state to match the town funds for the Community Preservation Act. We really hope that this will be one of the first projects to be completed with the Community Preservation Act funds through the town's participation and the state's participation. Thank you, and any questions, feel free to contact any of the Community Preservation Committee members.